A gentleman at the front here asked me if I had any problems with him taking photographs. I said absolutely not. If any of you want to take photographs, feel free. When you've taken them, check your lens. Audience, what's your fit? We'll have to do this by show of hands. If it was a different layout here, I'd come out and talk to you and get some opinions and we'd discuss it briefly. A show of hands, who thinks aliens exist? Wow, that's a lot of you. Okay. Who thinks they don't exist? My wife. And a couple of others. And to be fair, who really doesn't have a clue and has no opinion either way? There's a few of you. Okay. At the end of this lecture, you'll be none the wiser. Known as the Cambrian explosion. You may recognize this beastie here. It's a well-known fossil from that period. It's a trilobite. All life originated in the sea on planet Earth. We don't see anything, any evidence of any life on land until 100 million years after life originated in the sea. More complex life I'm talking about now. So the question was, could we terraform Venus? Actually, not with our current technology. I don't think that's possible. Okay. I have spotlights staring me in the eyes, so if anybody's waving their hands, wave vigorously, because I won't see you otherwise. Are there any other questions? Yes, sir.
What did you say the wow signal was? It was a peak of hydrogen?
The wow signal was on the hydrogen line. So if you excite hydrogen gas, you get an emission at a particular wavelength. And that wavelength you see all through the universe because that's coming out of stars. So it's very common. Studying that wavelength also gives us information about movement of those objects through Doppler shift. So that hydrogen line will move. If it blue shifts, the object is coming towards us. If it red shifts, it's going away. Okay, so the hydrogen line is if you like, a common, we would expect will be a common communication tool for a civilization because it's so fundamental. Yes, right at the back.
I heard they were developing a warp engine.
He heard they were developing a warp engine. How much time do I have?
You have time. Okay.
You might be referring to a paper that was published quite recently in one of the peer-reviewed, I think it was physics journals, where somebody had come up with the mechanism, the equations for at least bending space-time to simulate warp travel. I actually looked at that paper. The downside of the paper is while it seems to be theoretically possible, we don't know how to do it. So, baby steps. Maybe they will one day figure out how to do it. There's still a lot of things that we don't understand, and actually as time goes on, you may find this in other things. The more you think you understand something, you actually find that you understand it less and less. And when we talk about the history of astronomy, assuming that we do, we'll find out that most of what we see out there actually comprises only 5% of what we think is out there. And I'm referring to dark energy and dark matter. But I'll talk about that later.
Still expanding the universe?
Is the universe still expanding? Come to the universe talk. Yes, at the back there.
Do they actually see the galaxies, or is it mathematically?
Do they actually see the galaxies, or is it mathematically calculated? Yes, they see the galaxies. The Hubble Space Telescope actually gives you images. It doesn't necessarily have to be in visible light. In fact, the furthest galaxy that's being seen now doesn't emit visible light anymore. More on that in the galaxies talk. Down there. Oh, the SETI search. Have they found anything? No. Sorry, I wish they had. Some of you came up to me earlier and said it's really cold in here. I did speak to the people that run this place. That's been called in, and hopefully it should be warming up. And it's a big place, so it'll take a while. But anyway, the problem is being addressed. Early morning quiz. This is the title of the talk. It's different from what's in the program. What's the difference? Hey, some people are reading the program. Yes. When I first put it together, it was Meteors and Comets, and I thought, there's something missing here. And now asteroids are in here as well. That's my self-introduction. I've been through this a number of times. If anything piques your interest, come see me afterwards, and I'll happily discourse with you. So comets, first of all. And of course, these things are all now called small solar system bodies, or the small solar system body. But we'll refer to them as the old name, keep it simple, comets. And when anything appears in the sky, comets are notable for this, you can generally find some disaster somewhere that you can attribute to the appearance of that comet. And so among the more superstitious of us, you can always find a problem that is caused by that comet in the sky. Carl Sagan basically summarized what I said quite nicely there. This is a picture of a comet in 1996. Let's go back to Halley's Comet. This was very clever, but in 1704, Sir Edmund Halley recognized that there was a repeating pattern of this comet. So let's say you weigh 140 pounds or 140 kilos after having been in the buffet for almost 2 weeks. I'm not quite sure how much I put on, but even so, try and dance it off in the evenings. So if you're 140 kilos or pounds and you can travel to another planet, this is your weight on the planet. So on the inner planets and the moon, for example, you're going to lose weight rapidly. It's not a solution, the mass hasn't changed. If you were able to stand on the outer planets, but you can't because they're gaseous, of course, you would plummet to the core and be crushed. There are 4 fundamental forces in the universe that we know about at the moment. They're listed here. This is the name of the force. This is a pictorial description of the force. This is the relative strength of the force, with the strong force being assigned an arbitrary number of 1, so that you can relate the respective strengths. This is the range of that force in meters. And then this is the particle, the carrier of the force.